Thank you very much indeed, Madonna. About 4 weeks ago, a pleasant-looking 24-year-old Swedish man with the curious name of Mondo Duplantis attempted to propel himself over a bar 6.26 metres above the ground using a long, bendy pole. Now, this is not a fact that would normally be of much interest to me or most of the people I know. But I was transfixed. And when he successfully got over the bar, I experienced this extraordinary sense of exhilaration and joy. This, of course, was in Paris. Now, I have a great love and admiration for the French and for Parisians, but let's face it, they're renowned for being pretty cynical, and at times they can be a bit grumpy. But I was there with my family for those weeks, and it was quite clear that everyone was experiencing the same emotions, and it still sends a shiver down my spine to this day. The atmosphere was electric. It's all kind of irrational, and I guess that's the point. People aren't robots. Our motivations and behaviours are complex and only semi-rational. Influencing people's behaviours is the prize that thousands of people down the millennia have attempted to achieve, whether they be monarchs or politicians or advertising executives or people like us. I believe there is the potential for us to leverage the magic of the Olympic Games to influence human behaviours. I know the Brisbane 2032 Organising Committee and many of our state agency and local government partners are working together to ensure we deliver a healthy, safe and enjoyable world-class event. And I know I've heard some people say, Brisbane isn't Paris, Brisbane isn't Los Angeles. They have their Olympic Games. If you're in Glasgow or in Düsseldorf or in Shanghai or in Baltimore, when you see those pictures of southeast Queensland, you will think, wow, this will be an extraordinary Games. The achievements of our aspiring athletes will encourage Queenslanders to be more physically active, more often, and to try new sports. We know that regular participation in physical activity provides multiple health benefits and contributes to reducing the development of risk factors across our lifespan. I am concerned that the most recent Queensland Preventive Health Service data show that 44% of adults and 54% of children are not meeting national physical activity and exercise guidelines. However, it is encouraging to see trend data showing a significant increase in the percentage of Queensland children meeting or exceeding the recommended amount of physical activity over the past decade. Of course, our schools play an important role in encouraging physical activity. They provide wonderful opportunities for young people to try a variety of sports through inter-school and representative sports programs. Actions being delivered by the Department of Sport and Recreation are certainly helping to improve access to sport and recreation infrastructure and address barriers to participation. The Fair Play Voucher Program is an excellent initiative that is helping reduce financial barriers and providing opportunities for more children and young people to play sport. In Paris, many days were very hot. This impacted athletes, Games officials, volunteers and spectators. Many venues and surrounding areas had limited available shade. When the Brisbane 2032 Games will be held in late winter, our temperature and UV levels will actually, in fact, be far higher than our Northern Hemisphere visitors are used to, increasing risk of heat-related illness and sunburn. Given Queensland has the highest rates of skin cancer in the world, sun safety must be a priority for our Brisbane 2032 planning agenda. Queensland Health is working closely with areas of government responsible for infrastructure, planning and delivery. The aim is to have plenty of built and natural shade for spectators in and around all Games precincts and along connecting pathways from public transport hubs. We want overseas and Australian visitors and spectators to have an enjoyable, sunburn-free Games experience. To help make this happen, sunscreen should be readily available. We can also harness new technologies and use communication channels to prompt and remind people to use sun protective behaviours. Australian athletes' uniforms and Games official staff and volunteer uniforms must meet mandatory sun-safe specifications and include broad-brimmed hats. This was done very successfully for the Gold Coast Commonwealth Games in 2018. We should use these insights to inform our approach for Brisbane 2032. We really need to ensure our sun-safe policies are being implemented in all levels of sport and recreation, particularly for junior sport, as children and young people, their skin is particularly vulnerable to UV damage. Brisbane 2032 will provide a wonderful opportunity to support our local primary producers, graziers, dairy farmers and growers. We have some of the best food in the world which can be shared with Games visitors. And I say that seriously. I've just having spent time in Paris, going into our supermarkets, the quality of the produce is outstanding. And I don't think we realise that sometimes here in Australia. We can showcase Queensland's diverse and abundant range of delicious and nutritious protein sources from the land and sea, fresh tropical fruits, vegetables, and quality dairy produce. Healthy, fresh food should be widely available at Games venues and precincts. As Queensland will be welcoming thousands of international visitors, we also have an opportunity to showcase and celebrate traditional and culturally significant foods that have been integral to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander diets for thousands of years. Water, of course, should be the drink of choice at the Games. I'd love to see free drinking fountains at venues right across all precincts. Now, using fresh produce from Queensland's incredible food bowl together with traditional First Nations foods will ensure an appealing array of healthy food and drink options are provided at Brisbane 2032. As foodborne illness is a serious health problem that is largely preventable, it will be of the utmost importance that food service providers and suppliers comply with mandatory safe food management and handling practices. I'm very proud of Queensland's strong laws to prevent the supply and use of vapes and tobacco. Over many years, a multi-strategic public health approach has been effective in shifting social norms and reducing smoking rates. Smoke and vape-free requirements will be firmly in place at and around the Olympic and Paralympic Games venues and precincts. We all have a role to play in meeting these aspirations for a healthy and active Brisbane 2032. Queensland Health and other government agencies are collaborating with the Games Organising Committee to achieve these goals. Health and Wellbeing Queensland, as the health lead for the Games and legacy partners under Elevate 2042, is also driving the health promoting agenda. The unifying effect of the Olympic Games goes well beyond what we normally see with a simple sporting event. I'm confident by working together, we can influence our communities to be more active and healthy in the lead up, during, and after the 2032 Games. Thank you very much.